Greg, you're on WDBO. Go ahead.
Hi, my question is about timeshares.
Okay.
We've had a timeshare for over 30 years, and the company, we applied for what they call a transition, and they said they wouldn't do it because the original purchase, we originally purchased the timeshare from another company, but it wasn't another company. It's when they first started, they had a different name, and then they changed their name as they merged over the years. And so they rejected our transition request based on that we did not purchase the timeshare originally from their company, which isn't true. So how do we get rid of the timeshare? They won't accept our transition request.
Well, Greg, first of all, tell me, what is a timeshare transition? What is that?
A transition is when you have a timeshare and you put in for a transition request. And what they do is, I don't know if they buy it back, you have to pay like $1,000 transition fee. And it goes through the transition department, and they have to research your purchase contract and everything, and then they come back and approved or disapproved the transition request.
So if you're lucky enough for them to approve this transition, then boy oh boy, you give them $1,000, and this timeshare is off your back, you might say.
You give them $1,000, then they do another process, and it takes about 6 to 8 months, and then it'll get approved.
But this is to give it back?
Yeah, Jim is trying
to give it back. We don't want to just give it to them. We know for nothing. We don't want anything for it.
Well, just to be clear, Greg, you're going to give them $1,000.
Yes.
Okay, I got you right. So, first of all, Greg, let's talk about this. Chrissy, we deal with timeshares on a somewhat regular basis, and hey, what we're telling people out there is, hey, folks, don't buy a timeshare. There's only a couple of timeshares that have some value to them that we know of, and like Disney, for example, people are using and enjoying Disney timeshares. But Chrissy, we refer people to a timeshare exit team. There's a couple of companies out there that, as far as I know, they're legitimate as far as helping people to get rid of their timeshares. I would say that if you're going to want to get rid of your timeshare, Greg, I think the key is that you don't pay anybody to do this for you until the job has been done. Do you know any more about that, Chrissy?
Well, yes, and I think in this situation, what Greg is saying, and good for you, Greg, you're dealing directly with the company and you are attempting to give it back, like you're saying. If you are able to successfully do that, good for you. That's the easiest way. Tom, what you're referring to is we do refer people when they have, unlike Greg, where he's working directly with the timeshare company, if I'm understanding correctly, the timeshare companies won't deal with you.
Yeah.
They won't accept it back.
Correct.
That's when people have to resort to a third party to be able to help them to get rid of the timeshare. And just like Greg mentioned, this is situations where people didn't just buy the timeshare a year or two ago. They've had them for quite some time. And now, for whatever reason, their families aren't using them. And you see that these are tremendous expense to you on a monthly or quarterly or yearly basis, and many people want to get rid of them. And what I find really fascinating is it is really hard to cancel them or just give them back. As Greg is saying, it is not an easy process. And kind of interesting, Greg, I'm curious, in the 6 months where they're reviewing, are you still paying a monthly fee?
Man. And those come up, and when you put in for a transition, they make you fill out this form, and you have to cancel all future reservations for the next year. So when you cancel all your reservations, and then you go through the process, then if they decide to accept it or not, then you pay the fee. But yes, we're paying the maintenance fees regardless, all through the process. And then they'll say, okay, 6-8 months from now, well, we're not going to approve it regardless, but you're still paying the maintenance fees
Yeah.
all
Well,
along.
Greg, I've never heard of a timeshare transition before, but it doesn't surprise me that they don't want to grant it for you. Greg, there are some companies out there that, as far as I know, they might be legitimate to help you get rid of a timeshare. I know we have a list of them, but Greg, I think it starts by saying that if you're going to hire an attorney to get rid of this timeshare for you or a company, I think it involves don't pay them up front. You get paid based on results. Greg, if you want to contact our office next week, we give us more information about that, or we tell you who we refer people to about that. Easiest way to reach us, Greg, is through our website, and that is olsonlawgroup.com. Greg, Chrissy, if Greg emails me about that, I'm gonna call this company that we're referring people to
sure,
and just
yeah.
confirm what it is that they can do for people we're referring over
Exactly,
there.
but I think if I'm correct, he's trying to resolve it first
Yeah,
on
but
his own.
I guess what? I'll bet
Oh, yeah.
90% chance he's not going to be successful, not because he's not doing the job right, but because the timeshare company doesn't want his timeshare back. They'll figure out any reason they have not to accept it.
Correct. And obviously that would be up to Greg if he wants to try to work through this process with them, or if he wants to just say, hey, forget it, and I'm just going to go through a third party. Then obviously that it would be Greg's decision. However, it's interesting that in other words, this particular company is calling exit or return or give back. They're calling it transition. But it's all about.
I'll tell you, you know how most people get rid of their timeshares?
Yeah, they rip them up and they just don't ignore it.
No, I'm going to say they transition to death.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. Well, here's what's
You own it and you're paying on that thing till the day you die.
Not so fast.
Okay.
Okay. I have been helping clients where the person and the only person that signed that timeshare contract was the person that passed away, and they are still bullying the family into thinking they have to pay.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it is so unfortunately the transition to death doesn't even stop the timeshare companies. Death certificate, it's done. The person that signed the contract has transitioned to another life and they still will not quit. It's really mind-boggling.
I find that unbelievable.
I
believe
it's happened.
it, but it's
right.
Let me say it. I find that outrageous.
It is outrageous.
Yeah.
It is. So, Greg, we feel your pain. We feel for all of our clients. This is a topic that really gets our blood boiling because we feel so bad that people are put in this position.
I'm halfway serious, halfway joking about we should go do one of those free timeshare weekends, where they put you up for a weekend and give you the hard sales pitch. See if we could resist.
Oh, well, not only would we resist, I'd want to have like our camera going and document like what's really happening here, what's going on, This is just not fair to people.
All right.
It's yeah.
And with that said, we do want to say that, hey, there is a percentage of people out there that are saying, Tom, guess what? We love our timeshare. We use it all the time. It's a great value to us. We've got a lifetime of memories. It's all working out beautifully. We can swap our weeks for other weeks at other places. That might be, 10% of the people.
Well, and wonderful for them.
Yeah.
But it's definitely the smaller percentage